WCPO 9. It's a new day.
It is a new year. It's time to set some resolutions for some, and others like to set goals and a clear vision for their life this year. Now, we will talk more about the vision later on in the show, but for now, let's talk about goals, specifically financial goals. I know this is a topic that can make some people very anxious, my husband being one of them, but it needs to be discussed. And discussing finances and having a plan will make you feel a lot less anxious. Some may even get excited. So let's talk to someone who isn't at all anxious about budgeting and keeping their finances organized. Riddick from Game Time Budgeting. Thank you so much for being with us,
Thank you so much
Al.
for having me once again.
Now, so you are not so anxious about finances and budgeting. Tell us why.
So when it comes to money, first of all we need is a plan, right?
Yeah.
So one of the reasons that we tend to get freaked out about money is because we have no idea of what's going on with our money.
Yeah.
We typically don't know how much is coming in on a paycheck to paycheck basis because nobody counts money anymore.
Exactly.
And because we don't track our expenses, we have no idea of how much money might be going to groceries versus shopping versus entertainment and things of that nature. So I always like to say, and this is very, very simple, spend more time planning what to do with the next dollar you will earn before you spend the dollar you already have.
That's a great advice. Great advice. Now, you're married, and I just got married earlier this year.
Okay.
Any advice to couples on how to talk about finances?
Okay, so I'm so glad you asked that question.
Yeah.
Before my wife and I got married, and we just celebrated 23 years.
Oh, wow.
So we had a number of conversations about money because I had to understand what money meant to her, what it allowed her to do. I had to understand her hopes and dreams, and I also had to understand her money language, right?
Yeah.
She had to do the same thing for me. Now, for those married people out there, don't think this is just going to be one conversation, like one and done. It doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fast forward to 23 years later, right?
Yeah.
Now, once a month, this is not sexy, but this is what we do. We sit down and we have a personal finance meeting, typically the last week before the next month.
Okay.
So the job that we have together is to dictate to our money how it should behave for the next 30 days.
I love it.
In addition to that, once we set the plan, then I keep track every week of how our projected spend is matching up to our budgeted spend, and I make little tweaks if necessary.
Okay.
And last but not least, even at the end of the year, we have an end of year review where we look at some of the goals that we set for the entire year, and then we talk about what we want to do for the upcoming year. And if this did not work, we would not keep doing it.
Exactly.
So once you create the system, just duplicate it over and over and over.
Absolutely. It's like a business, right?
Exactly.
You're running the business of your marriage. Now, a lot of people want to save more money in the new year, but they struggle to stay consistent. What's the simplest way to start saving in 2026?
So this is going to sound strange, but the goal is not to save more. The goal is to save automatically, right? So let me
Okay.
explain what I mean by that. So let's just say you set a goal to set aside, I don't know, $25 or $50 per paycheck, right? So you could set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account so that it happens every paycheck. So by doing it this way, you don't even have to think about saving anymore, and you've also reduced the competition between saving and spending because it's done even before you have a chance to kind of like get emotional about it, right?
Yes.
So one of the unique tricks or strategies to proper money management is to always use logic and minimize emotion. Is that making sense?
Yes, making a lot of sense. Yes. Logic, not emotions. I get it. Now, debt is still a major stressor for a lot of families. What's the smartest way to reduce debt in the new year?
Okay, so there are actually two answers to this question. So first off, if you were to line up all of your debts, okay, smallest to largest, you would also know what is the highest interest rate that you're paying. Now, mathematically speaking, it makes more sense to pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first because that's the one that's costing you the most money.
Yeah.
But I have to be honest with you, if we were doing math, we probably probably would have never gotten into debt in the first place, right? So
that's true.
a lot of times I'll tell people, once you have those debts arranged smallest to largest, why not tackle the smallest debt first, regardless of interest rate? Because just by human nature, we want to win, and we want to win quickly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So with that smallest debt, go ahead and if you decide to put together a budget, which I strongly recommend people do, when you make that gap between income and spending as wide as possible, some of that additional cash flow, start putting extra money towards the smallest debt first so that you can knock it out as quickly as possible. Because what happens with us as human beings, we get excited about winning, and we want more of that, right?
Absolutely.
So just do it that way, and you can do that over and over and over. Because my business is Game Time Budgeting, the system that we teach, it's actually called the Debt Blitz.
Okay, well, that makes a total sense. It's like whenever you're doing your homework, you want to do that smallest project first so you feel like you accomplished something.
Definitely.
All right, now many people feel intimidated by investing. What advice do you have to someone who wants to start in 2026?
Okay, so first of all, for a majority of people out here, you may work for a company that offers a 401k plan, right? So that's typically the easiest way to venture into this investment world. So even in addition to that, you can do pre-tax investing, but you can also do after-tax investing as well. I'm not here to tell people exactly where to put their money, but I do know this. Investing, it can be just as easy as saving money, and you can even set that up on automatic investing as well. But the key is to have time in the market, right? A lot of people, you hear people talk about time in the market. To me, that's just a fancy phrase that nobody can really see the future, right? But I do know this. The younger people are, when they start investing, you give your money more time to grow. And at the end of the day, we all want our money to have as many babies as possible, right?
Absolutely. It's a marathon, not a sprint when it comes to investing. All right, so real quickly, if viewers only do one financial thing in January to set themselves up for success, what should it be?
First of all, let's look back into 2025, right? So let's look at your spending habits, and let's look at how much money did we make as well, right? So if you see some opportunities for improvement so far as minimizing spending or even increasing your income, why not do that? Because it's going to benefit your household down the road. So it's kind of like this. It's very difficult to tell your money where to go in the future if you don't know where it has gone in the past, right?
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, pay attention, because as you heighten your level of awareness regarding your spending habits, you start to identify opportunities to redistribute where your money is going.
Absolutely. So get to know our money, right?
Exactly.
We need to get to know our money, guys. All right. Where can people go to find more information about Game Time Budgeting?
So people can go to GameTimeBudgeting.com or just give us a call at the office, 513-813-3275.
Awesome. Well, Al, I love all your suggestions. I'm so happy you were here with us today, getting us starting off in the new year. Great.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. See you next time, right?